The United Kingdom, once a symbol of power and heritage, is now facing a significant economic and social challenges as of 2024. Once a dominant force that built its wealth through trade and colonization, the UK is grappling with high debt ratio, a shrinkage of workforce and stagnating productivity. This story dwells into the reason behind UK's economic crisis, examining the impact of Brexit, systematic challenges, and the lesson that India can learn from Britain's plight. For centuries, the United Kingdom thrives as a global power, capitalizing on its colonial empire and the extensive trade network. However, the current economic crisis marks a stark contrast to its past glory. As of 2024, UK's debt stands at 99.5% of its GDP, significantly higher than the countries like Germany, which stood at 63.7%, Ireland at 42.5%, and India 58.2%. This situation is getting worse with the shrinking workforce and many leaving the countries and the productivity stagnating since 2008 financial crisis. Healthcare sector is one of the industries that help us to understand the economic situation of that country. The UK's healthcare system is strained, with the hospital facing severe shortage of nurses and 45% of the patient experiencing long wait in emergency room. The labor market is also facing a tremendous pressure, with the shortage of over 100,000 truck drivers contributing to logistic disruption. These factors have contributed to sharp rise in absolute poverty, the highest in 30 years, with the inflation exceeding 11%, the highest in last 4 decades. As a result, 2 million people in the UK go without food for at least one day in a month. The decision to leave the European Union, as known as the Brexit, has played a pivotal role in UK's current economic crisis. On June 23, 2016, a referendum led to UK's exit from the EU, a decision that is driven by the promises of the regained sovereignty and the economic prosperity. However, the reality has been far away from the optimistic. Brexit disrupted trade relationships, leading to economic challenges and the uncertainties. To understand the impact of Brexit, it's essential to understand the European Union structure and the benefit. European Union is formed after World War II. EU allowed its member countries to pool the resources, eliminate trade barriers, and enhance economic cooperation. Membership granted countries access EU's single market, providing significant advantages such as free movement of goods, services, and people. EU also provides citizenship. Citizens of EU countries could live and work anywhere within the Union, fostering economic growth and cultural exchange. It also comes up with trade benefit, as we discussed. Goods and services move freely across the border, facilitating business growth and economic prosperity. Also, EU negotiated trade deals as a unified entity, giving a smaller countries leverage against the bigger economy. Now the question remains, why UK chose Brexit? Despite this benefit, UK chose to exit the EU for several reasons, and the main reason is economic disparity. Some believe the UK was contributing more to European Union budget than it was receiving in return, fueling the perception of unfairness. Immigration concern is another point which led to the Brexit. The influx of immigration from the EU countries was seen as a strained public services and housing crisis, leading to fear of job competition. The another reason is sovereignty. Many felt that leaving the EU would allow the UK to regain the control over its law and trade agreements. But what is reality? The reality of Brexit has not met the expectation. The UK faces significant trade disruption, with the export to the EU countries accounting for 42% of total exports and the import from the EU making up to 40% of total imports. The loss of seamless trade within the EU has led to increase in the cost of living and reduced competitiveness for the UK businesses. UK is one of those countries who is relying heavily on the service industry. UK's reliance on the service sector has further compounded its economic woes. While the service sector contributed 81% of UK's GDP, it is vulnerable to economic shock and lack of employment opportunity provided by manufacturing. The UK's stagnant production level and overdependence on the services are the reason behind the economic downturn. The UK's labour market is grappling with the shortages across the industry, across the sector, including hospitality and the healthcare. As of 2024, 200,000 EU citizens have left the UK, creating labour shortages and putting additional strain on the public services. The shortages of workers, coupled with rising inflation and depreciating pound, has created a vicious cycle of economic stagnation. The UK's economic challenges offer valuable lesson for India. While the service sector is crucial, India must prioritize manufacturing to create jobs and a buffer against the economic shock. India should embrace globalization while maintaining self-reliance, recognizing that isolation is not a viable strategy for the economic growth. Critical economic decisions should be guided by the experts, avoiding populist choices that may lead to adverse outcomes like Brexit. The UK's journey from global powerhouse to its current economic challenges serve a cautionary tale. By understanding the root causes of UK's crisis and learning from its mistakes, India can navigate its path toward sustainable growth and prosperity. The UK's experience highlights the importance of strategic decision making, diversified economic growth, and a balance between globalization and self-reliance. Thank you for joining on this exploration of UK's economic crisis and the lesson it offers. For more insightful content on global event and economic trends, subscribe to our channel. Stay informed, stay engaged, and stay tuned for more thought-provoking discussion. See you in the next episode.